This conference will now be recorded.
Hey everybody, it's Tammy here with the SafeSpace podcast. Today I have a very special guest, Gus Renny. I hope I didn't butcher that too much, Gus, but
Perfect.
uh, Gus Renny is joining us, I think, from somewhere in Florida, right? An undisclosed bunker in Florida somewhere. And he is now. What's your official title, Gus?
I'm the CEO of Goodguides LLC.
All right, so he's the CEO. He's the main man of the Goodguides that I've been talking to some of you about, and we're going to talk about what Goodguides is, what it isn't, and why you might want to consider this not only as protection for your home and auto, but also possibly as maybe a side income source. So, Gus, how's it going?
It's going great from here in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Wow, so this thing has really exploded. This company you created. So, give us a little background about you and how you came together with Mike Patillo and how you guys decided this particular service and that the time is now for this service.
Yeah, so I've been in the business for about 10 years. And I came up with the idea to sell it through this affiliate structure because it was a little more personal and a little bit more trusting than the typical way of either a mail piece or phone calls or things like that, SEO, from people that just random people. And we were building the company, and I was fortunate enough to get introduced to Mike, who's got a great track record in the affiliate space. Really smart guy, really trustworthy guy. So we just decided to join up and launch it this way. And knock on wood, it's been a great success so far.
So I am familiar as a former property and casualty agent. I'm intimately familiar with insurance and how insurance works, and I also know a little bit about home warranty sort of things. And it has a bad reputation, that whole industry, but you've made it your purpose to turn it around. So explain for people that don't know, what is the difference between what you guys do and what your the scammer on TV kind of thing, where you pay $29 a month, or what is the main difference?
Yeah, so look, I know those policies, right? Being in the business for so long, those policies, they just kind of don't pay for the claims, or they try to find loopholes, or there are a lot of disclaimers and things like that. Like Mike always says, we're doing things differently around here. I could have went out with a $79, $89, $99 policy. Ours are slightly more expensive, but at least we pay claims. Our goal is to pay claims, make sure the customer satisfaction, make sure that it's coming from a trustworthy source. Become a little bit more technologically advanced with letting people know when we're on the way to their house, if it's a home warranty, who's coming, so it's a little bit safer and more secure. You feel a little bit, a little bit more peace of mind. And with the auto, it's the same thing, right? You can drive with peace of mind. In today's economic environment, people are, keeping their cars a little bit longer, so you want to keep them running right. And in this way, you don't have to wait for five things to go wrong before before you bring your car in. You get it fixed as things happen. Keep the running and the value of your car up. And the fringe benefits aren't too bad either, where you can get a free rental car, you get free roadside assistance, free towing, free trip interruption. So there's a lot of fringe benefits to it as well that people like to take advantage of. So, usually your house and your auto are your two biggest investments. So why not keep them running well and looking good?
Absolutely, absolutely, especially in today's environment where you're having to pay more for every single thing.
Yep.
Especially, but I have a funny kind of it wasn't funny to me at the time, but I have kind of a funny story about home warranties. When I bought my place out here in Southern California, I did purchase one of those ones that you mentioned, right? And you're
Yes.
absolutely right that they have a million and one reasons they're not going to do anything for you. So my dishwasher went down, and it was actually, I had a guy come out and look at it. You also pay an 85 bucks every time a service guy comes out with this. So you pay the $52 a month fee, and then you have $85 on top of it. So he comes out and he looks at it and he took some pictures and he goes back. And then a couple of weeks later, I heard from the warranty company and they said, well, we're not going to replace your unit. I guess it's some sort of computer unit went out. We're not going to replace that because when he took pictures, there was a fork in the bottom of the yeah, a fork, one fork in the bottom of the washing machine that I guess we had left it or it fell out of the top rack or something.
Yeah.
And that indicates that you didn't maintain it. And I went, what?
Wow.
Are you
That's
kidding? And I
that's a
fought with them.
stretch.
I fought with them. So then I tried to go to the customer service person, and she said, "Well, I can't. I have to escalate this." And then I got the supervisor, and they said, "Well, this is our final word on it. We're not going to pay for it." So I'm getting rid of them, and that's really what caught my attention when Eric presented me with this because I had worked with, I had gotten a hold of him through other means in the insurance world, and he said, hey, maybe this could replace something. Eventually, it will replace it out here in California, I'm sure, but that was just ridiculous. That's and the other big claim I had was air conditioner. This is one of the things that they do that they go, wow, we have the best air conditioning. But when the compressor went out, they found a million and one reasons to not replace it. Is that
Yeah.
typical?
It's I don't want to say it's typical. Just with some of those less expensive plans that are just not as good coverage, and I think and that goes back to what I was saying about why we did this, right? So like you start hearing about it from people that you kind of trust, maybe your neighbor, somebody that you know on social media, friends, family, things like that. Spread the word, and you can really stand behind this, and that's why we encourage all of the people that are coming online to sell it, to buy their own, so that they can get the same experience that you said that you got from when you called into Goodguides yourself. Unfortunately, right now we do not cover home in California, but that's coming very soon. So you'll be fortunate enough to be able to get yourself a good policy that'll actually fix those things. And the safe space with these is that, like, going back to what we were saying about the today's environment, is just that the every day prices are going up. Supply chain shortages, things like that. And as crazy as it sounds, but you just don't have to care. Let us deal with the haggling of the price, or making sure that it can get fixed while you're in your rental car, or and waiting to get it fixed. You don't have to worry about pricing. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff, because all you do is drop your car off at your dealership or any of your ASE certified mechanics, and we fix it. You pay your $100 deductible, and you pick the car up and you leave. So it's pretty good as far as peace of mind goes. And the same thing with your home. When it comes to California, you'll be able to take advantage of the same thing. Now, in the rest of the country, everybody has the ability to buy a home warranty and get things actually fixed, and feel safe, and not have to worry about these big expenses that may pop up.
So I was also intrigued by the fact that with the home warranty companies, and I've had two different ones, these warranty companies, they only use their approved quote unquote repair people. And sometimes
Yeah,
the people they've sent me look like they just got out of Lompoc or something. They just got out of
yeah.
prison. And I mean, they don't look necessarily competent sometimes. And I'm wondering, you guys are different in that what? If I have a trusted certified mechanic, I can use that person, correct?
Yes, exactly. So we took into account that everybody's got their AC guy, their plumber, that they've worked with, so they're intimate with their house. They know the inner workings, they know what they've already fixed in the past, they know what the problem could be, things like that. So yeah, so all you would do is just call in like a regular claim, let the claims person know that you're going to be using your own guy. Your guy would just call in and get onboarded. Very easy process, submitting your license, your insurance if needed, and a bond if you're in a state that requires a bond. And then we'll onboard you and let you use your guy. Now it's a benefit for both of you. Now you got a guy that you trust and that knows your house, but also that gentleman can get other business from us for your neighbors or people in your area. So it actually helps him as well. So it's best of both worlds, and again, that just goes back to what we're saying about doing things a little differently, just making things a little bit easier on everybody in today's environment.
Well, one thing too, I'm going to, pick on you a little bit, but as an agent, how are you able to, for example, what are some exclusions and what are some ways that you're able to keep the bottom line for yourself to keep it nice and.
Yeah, so we're not looking to become, super rich off of each policy, right? So we're looking for volume. So we put that savings back to the customer to keep the prices affordable. One way we do that also is with interest-free financing. You can finance these over 24 months, which makes it very affordable. Things like that. But when you're talking about things that aren't covered, I just people should just really read the policy and know what they're getting into and know what's covered. We had a very unique situation where a lady called in, wasn't getting any airflow, thought her air conditioner was broken, and it ended up being a rodent problem that had chewed some holes in their ductwork, and that was not covered. Right, ductwork is not covered, rodents are not covered, things like that. So there are things that are excluded, but the main components are all included in the policy. So, and we go over that on the phone, which is another great thing about having the U.S. based call center. You're not just buying something, prepackaged, and it might not fit you. Every policy we sell here is uniquely designed for your home, whether you have one air conditioning unit, two, three, a pool, an upstairs and downstairs laundry. It just depends. We uniquely customize it to each individual, and keep it affordable.
Right, and you do have coverage options that some people can take and some people can just, right, you know what I mean? Like you don't necessarily make people have to take everything that's available.
Yeah, so if they wanted to, let's say, not cover their pool because it's maybe their pool's still under warranty, right, from the manufacturer or something like that, we can exclude that. If they wanted to add a pool, we can add the pool. Things like that, we can definitely customize. Some people are on septic, so we can add septic to it as kind of like an a la carte type thing. So yeah, so fully customizable, fully functional for what your exact needs are.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling you earlier that I had before I knew it wasn't available in California. And even if you're listening to this, even if you're in California, it still behooves you to call into their customer service center and see how the process goes. And for me as an agent, it's very, very similar to when I call around to get auto quotes or homeowners insurance quotes. It's the same kind of thing. You call into a call center, the person there is very articulate, the one, at least the person I dealt with, very calm and professional. And it's not like calling one of those boiler room customer service things where everybody's like, and you can't understand what they're saying. And asked him a lot of questions, and he was able to answer. And the things he wasn't able to answer, he didn't just make up something. He said, you know what, let me check on it and get back to
Yeah.
you. And it was a really good experience from that point of view. Basic underwriting that they ask at that point in time.
Yeah, so just to be clear, you can obtain an auto policy in California from us right now, fully licensed, insured by DOI of California. So the only thing we're waiting on is our licensing for California for home. It's very intensive. California is a semi-difficult state to work in, so
No
yeah,
kidding.
got to jump through a
Not
little bit of
semi,
hoops.
not semi. It's
Got to
very
jump through
difficult.
hoops, but we're going to do it. We've been on it for a while now, so we're going to incorporate that in here real soon. Looking forward to that as well, and getting people the coverage that they need out there, especially out in California for sure.
So what about autos? Going back to autos again, what if somebody, what about a small business that has a fleet of autos? Would this work out for them?
Yes.
So you could do more than one. Do they, is more difficult to do it that way, or
No, we've signed up multiple cars in one call, plenty of times. So yeah, it would be like having a husband, wife, and child in having a car in the same household. We can sign up all three.
but here there are some limitations on the auto. I'm understanding that it shouldn't be more than like 175 mileage
Yeah.
wise.
So right now, 15 years old or newer, and 175,000 miles or less, we can put you into a policy.
Yeah, well, that's not going to fit my car because I have a deluxe hoopty, so I'm not going to be
Well,
able to do that.
hopefully you'll refer enough of these to your friends and make them comfortable
Yeah,
and give them peace of mind to get you an upgrade.
that's the other thing. This is from what I've seen so far, and I'm being really honest with everybody here. It's a really tremendous service that you're offering, and there's a way if people want to offset the cost of this. There's a way to do that. How do they do that?
Yeah, so they can go to thegoodlaunch.com and register to be an affiliate or a referral partner. And every time they refer our service to someone, they get a commission, directly paid to them, and it'll offset their own policy.
Yeah, so even if you feel like you don't have a big network or something, you know enough people in your life. I mean, you've got customers or clients, and you've got neighbors that you like. You probably
Yep,
know enough people that you could sell one of these policies once, one a month, and it would offset all or most of what you're paying for your own policy. So that's one way to finance it. And
exactly
there's
right.
also, you can also use this as a side gig. I mean, this is a really good way for people that are looking to make some side income. You build up a network and you start promoting this. And I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing is, there is a hurdle with this particular service. And I'm wondering how you're getting over it just by being better. I know that's one way. But it does have something of a black eye sometimes for people. People have had a lot of bad experiences with these warranties. So how
Yeah,
are you addressing that?
yeah, we're just addressing it case by case, and again, that goes back to the way that we are getting them out there now through people such as yourself, right? That could share your unique, your unique way that you called in and had a good time, your unique experience of calling in and understanding and hearing it from one of our agents exactly what you're getting covered or not covered, or and the terms, and making sure that everything is exactly the way that you want it, right? And it does help a lot of people. A little bit of extra cash, nobody says no to that, right? So whatever vertical you're in, right, whatever industry you're in. So if you're a real estate agent, this is a great add-on. If you're an insurance agent, this is a great add-on. If you're a handyman, if you're a home builder, if you're a window company. So really, the way to get these out there is really endless, and you're just getting a little bit of extra money for everything that you refer. A lot of people using it as a retention tool for their business, So really, a lot of unique ways to sell it, a lot of unique ways to refer it to people, and you don't have to worry about about any kind of negativity coming back on you, because like I said, we're doing things a little differently around here, and we're actually paying claims and getting things done for people as fast as we can.
Well, that's perfect. I was thinking of one way that would be great is for some of the smaller mom and pop mechanic shops and things like that. If they were not only certified to do the work, but also they could sell the service to their, whenever people have a big bill and they go, well, you could have avoided a lot of
Yeah.
this by having this insurance. So they have sort of I don't know, captive audience there, but there's a lot of ways, like Gus said, to sell and market this stuff. And I thought it was a fascinating thing because I have had some major home repairs, and I probably could have saved. Do you have any statistics lately yet on how much the average person could save if they, have something like this in place? Do you
No,
do
I
you have
don't
any
have any of
idea?
those statistics. The only statistic that I have is that, with today's economic environment, people are keeping their cars a lot longer. And with interest rates the way they are, nobody's really moving. So they tend to stay in their houses. So, like, just keeping things up and making sure that, you don't get behind the eight ball. A lot of times what happens when you don't have these warranties is something will break, and then you'll say, oh, you know what, I can kind of piece it together or do without it. And then something else will break, and then something else will break, and it snowballs. Before you know it, you got a big problem on your hands, and then most people put it on a credit card and end up paying double for it, and it becomes a problem. Here, you can just get them fixed as needed without the stress, without the interest of a credit card or anything like that. And then at the same time, there's a statistic that 40% of Americans would be in a catastrophic economic environment if in their home if they did not save for these things if they got $1,000 emergency. So think about that. 40% of Americans' homes, if they had $1,000 repair emergency, would be in some kind of a hardship, right? So I mean, if that's not peace of mind having one of these, it's great. It's unbelievable.
No, this is I know you need to get going pretty soon, but how is this? People are going to confuse this a little bit with their homeowners association or homeowners insurance. how do they work together, perhaps, and then how are they dramatically different in your opinion? I mean, how do you draw the distinction there?
Well, homeowners, this covers everything that the homeowners insurance doesn't, right? So homeowners insurance doesn't cover like appliances, electrical, plumbing,
Yep.
things like that. So it covers what it doesn't. And the way that they help each other and is that when when you get homeowners insurance, a lot of time they'll send out an inspector and inspect your home. And if you're not keeping up with stuff, it'll affect your policy rate. So when things are really good and working right, and you can take care of your home and it's in good shape, it'll save you money on your insurance. And the same thing with your car,
Yeah,
especially with the
that's
resale, especially
absolutely
with
correct.
and
Yeah.
especially with the resale value, right? So that's those are just the short term gains. The long term gain is you every month you're paying your mortgage, you build an equity in your home. You'd hate to pay for 10, 15 years like some people do, and they can't afford these repairs, and their house gets a little deteriorated,
Wow.
and they lose
Yeah.
the equity that they've paid into by not being able to sell it for what the market shows its worth should be.
And that would apply also to automobiles.
Yeah,
If
of
you've got
course.
a car, do these things transfer, by the way? Like if you sell your
Yes.
home, they
Yeah.
transfer? What about an
Yes.
automobile? So say I have a really nice classic auto. I can,
Same. Same. You can transfer it to the new vehicle if it qualifies. And here's the best part. The best part is that if you do upgrade and you don't want to transfer it, or if let's say you're fortunate enough to upgrade to a new car, you don't lose out. You just simply cancel your policy and you get refunded for the unused portion of your policy that you've paid into. So you're paying for 2 years. Remember, you're paying for 2 years and you're getting 2 years for free. So you're making payments for the first 2 years. The second 2 years, you're still covered, but you're not making any payments. So if you cancel the policy in the third year, you can cancel it and you can get refunded the unused portion of your policy. So you're not really leaving anything on the table. You're actually just paying for what you need.
that's huge to get the 2 years and then 2 years free. That is a really big thing. I mean, I don't think there's anybody else out there doing this that
Yeah, I
exact
mean,
way.
yeah, I mean, we want to make it affordable, but at the same time, we want to be able to make sure that we pay the claims that come in. So we took a year average of payments that we've been selling over the last year, and our average automotive payment is about $140 a month, and our average home payment is around 2 or 225 a month. So very affordable when you look at it relative to what the pricing is now to get something fixed. I think the last time we checked at like a Firestone around here in West Palm Beach, that just to get your car diagnosed, so just the diagnosis part of it to find out what's wrong, was like $325. You drop your car off now, you just pay $100, and you don't really care about anything else, right? You don't care what the diagnosis is. You just want it fixed and running. You don't really care how much it costs, right? So you just want to get it fixed and running. So it's definitely a huge life saving event, right? Also the fringe benefits. If you have to get your kid to school or you to work, and you don't get a rental car from bringing your car in, what are you doing, right? You're getting on Uber, or you're getting a taxi, or you're taking public transportation, which all costs money. So yeah, definitely friendly and helpful in all those areas.
Yeah, I had a transmission work done a couple years ago, and that was a couple years ago, and it was over $4,000. Four
Yeah, I mean,
thousand
yeah,
dollars.
yeah. We had one of our first policies we've sold at Goodguides was to a gentleman who a couple of weeks prior to buying it, his transmission went out. He paid $5,600, and he said, "I'll never do that again." And now he drives with peace of mind, knowing that if anything like that happens to any one of his other cars, that it's going to be covered. So he was a weight was lifted off his shoulders.
And that's perfect. So I know it doesn't cover necessarily basic maintenance. Are there discounts or anything along that line?
So yeah, so there are some fringe benefits in addition to the ones that I've mentioned where you get reimbursed. It's the only part of the policy that's reimbursed. So you get $35 back each once a year for an oil change. you get $25 back over the life of the policy for windshield wiper blade replacement, and you get $100 reimbursement over the life of the policy for brake pad renewal. So there are those are the three things that you can get reimbursed for over the life of the policy. So if you add all
Yeah,
that up, it's like taking a payment off.
yeah, exactly. I was going to say that. It's like having a month for free or something. So that
Yep.
is excellent. So thank you. This is a really exciting service. Those of you who have been hesitating to try it, I encourage you, if somebody else sent you a link, that you should go at least go through the process. Call that number that's on there. There's a little private phone number on there from the person that directed you, and just go through the process and see what they're all about. Because I think customer service alone, they have a leg up on everybody that I've ever used. And also, if you're interested in becoming an affiliate, it's possible that somebody sent you this video that there's already an affiliate, and you can sign up through them, or you can go directly to the company or whatever. But I encourage you, work with the person that sent you here, work with the person that was cared enough about you to tell you about this, because it's going to end up being a really big company, I believe, at some point. So I want to thank Gus. How do you spell your last name?
Renny, Renny.
Renny, just like it sounds, Gus Renny, who
Yes, ma'am.
is the CEO of Goodguides. And, I think they're doing things right. I'm really excited about the direction the company's taking. And I encourage everyone to at least look them up, see what they're all about, reach out to them on Facebook and other places. And I really appreciate you being here with us, Gus, to talk about this wonderful new service. So
Yeah.
take care. And
Thank
this
you
is
for
just one
having
way
us.
to, preserve your assets. That's what I always tell all of my
Absolutely.
clients, and this is one of the best ways to do it. So thank you, Gus. Take care,
Thank
and
you.
we'll be in touch later. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.